Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we have been decoding the 400-year reset and its mechanisms. In our previous video, we showed how the fields of the star halos create the stars, the mechanisms behind it, and the reset of the stars and how they reverse direction, which matched hoppy descriptions of a previous reset. What we found was that their motions are actually going west to east, but at such a rate that it produced a wagon wheel effect, and gave the impression they rotate east to west. This reset involves them slowing down. Scripturally, the stars will fall from the sky. These events were also seen during previous resets, as the Book of Miracles shows. The dragons seen in the sky are nodes on star halos, moving quickly, which may give the appearance of a dragon or a comet with a tail. Our understanding of these events and the mechanisms of the Armillary tie into the reset. The Armillary really does represent the motions of the luminaries, and my modelling of the mechanism matches Stellarium and what we witness in the heavens, thus making our map and model correct. Changes in their rotational speed are noticed in the refresh rate, changes thus creating more luminary events as it slows and becomes more visible to the eye. We are already witnessing these events. With the lights in the sky, they are calling Starlink, which is an attempt by man to take credit for the lights which are becoming more and more visible as the star halo's refresh rate changes. The Armillary sphere, also known as an astrolabe, has been used for centuries. It surprised me when I decoded what the stars are actually doing when I was decoding the star trails, and that the stars are all part of one mechanism and were rotating in the same direction, not opposite as most people believe. They are all moving as one unit. There are also clues to this in artwork, as these images show. It is far more special than people realise, and after the Atlas decode, it is now part of the APM model, as it is involved in the shutdown of our stars and some other events. You will find allegory in many subjects of which we have decoded over the years. Now, as you know, the APM map and model are a flat earth map and model that uses a stationary and level plane. The luminaries and nature are governed by technology. Technology we have been decoding and explaining for years now. If you have not considered technology to be playing a part, you are not awake yet. This technology is the Creator's glory, and you will see the glory depicted everywhere in many forms. Our ancestors everywhere knew how this world works. Now, there is a lady that does some fantastic research that ties in with something we are working on. Here's FlatFact.
The Tropicus Drift. I could also name this the Solstice Drift. As with the maps in Chapter 1, I will show the encyclopedic narrative. I will use Wikipedia because it repeats the narrative of the other encyclopedias, and it's Creative Commons. The Tropic of Cancer, which is also referred to as the Northern Tropic, is the most northerly circle of latitude on Earth at which the Sun can be directly overhead. This occurs on the June solstice, when the Northern Hemisphere is tilted towards the Sun to its maximum extent. Using a continuously updated formula, the circle is currently 23 degrees 26 hours, or 23.43662 degrees north of the equator. Did you notice using a continuously updated formula? The Tropic of Cancer's position is not fixed, but constantly changes because of a slight wobble in the Earth's longitudinal alignment relative to the ecliptic, the plane in which the Earth orbits around the Sun. Notice still repeating the latitude of the Tropic of Cancer. And the position is not fixed. Earth's axial tilt varies over a 41,000-year period from 22.1 to 24.5 degrees. And as of 2000 is about 23.4 degrees, which will continue to remain valid for about a millennium, 1,000 years. This wobble means that the Tropic of Cancer is currently drifting southward at a rate of almost half an arcsecond, or 0.468 of latitude, or 15 meters per year. The circle's position was at exactly 23 degrees 27 hours north in 1917 and will be at 23 degrees 26 hours north in 2045. But wait, don't the cartographic maps of the world show us the tropic zones laying at the 23.5 degrees latitude north and south? Now let's analyse this. This is the Tropicus Drift, or the Solstice Drift, and over the millennia, the Tropicus latitude north zones have been shrinking at a rate of approximately 15 meters a year. This would be, of course, if the sun's path shrunk at a constant rate yearly over the millennia. In Mexico, the Tropic of Cancer was measured for an approximate 15-meter decrease each year. This is a picture. How unfortunate they stopped measuring. But wait, there's more. The path of the sun at the Tropicus latitude north and south lie at the same degrees. They are in harmony with each other. So while the North Tropicus turning point of the sun is decreasing southward at a rate of approximately 15 meters a year, the Southern Tropic Zone is also decreasing northward at a rate of approximately 15 meters a year. In total, the tropical drift is approximately 30 meters a year. It doesn't take much critical analysis to understand that an approximate 30-meter decrease in the sun's path each year could be affecting the weather. Whether the sun will continue at an approximate 30-meter decrease a year towards the equator is unknown, and when it will finish the cycle and begin to increase is unknown. The Tropicus drift needs to be measured as accurate as we possibly can every year, year after year, for future generations. So do you really think we should be taxed and blamed for weather patterns changing from the cycle of the sun? The Tropicus latitude zones are not a constant. These zones are shrinking at an approximate rate of 30 meters a year. So while this is happening, there is still the same amount of days in a year. Equinoxes are still at the 0-degree latitude, and the sun still turns and goes back the other way. It is the Tropicus solstice latitudes that are not a constant. The path of the sun is decreasing north and south every year. Remember I said at the beginning of the video the Tropicus solstice zones were at the same time and place each year? The north and south Tropicus solstices that occur in 2021 will be at the same latitudes, but this latitude measurement will be different to last year, and it will be different next year. I understand very well that this information takes a little bit to get your head around, and of course you should be checking. I also titled these chapters as Gods and Monsters, and I will be getting to that. The March equinox 2021 is approaching. The sun will be at the 0-degree latitude, so look for the sun around solar noon. Where is the sun to your view? I'm sure you were never told about this 30-meter decrease in the tropic zones yearly. The approximate 30-meter decrease in the sun's path every year. Up until this point, How many people do you think actually know? So, now we have maps being thousands of years out of time, and the Tropicus solstice drift, the path of the sun witnessed on Earth.
The modelling of these mechanisms shows us we were on the correct path, as you can see. It addresses the waveforms, the seasons, our Milky Ways motion, and builds up to the reset over time. I'll let the animation do the talking. This video is an update to our 400-year reset with thanks to FlatFact for her research into the solar drift in a reset series. Some excellent work by this lady, and we look forward to collaborating more in the future. A special thanks also to Sandra's husband, who makes these amazing animations for this research. Fantastic work. Season's greetings all, and love from APM Research.